Okay, so let's look closer on the placement. And you notice right here, I created, well, we kind of continue with the tree, and we can see we have it plant going, and we have it this kind of branches with some leaves. So it's help us see on some placement. So currently it's orthogonal alternative. So if we go on the first orthogonal, you can see it's placed on one side. We're going to alternate, so we can see how it's alternate, just going a little bit around. We'll go with a pair, which is make symmetrical. If we switch to lateral, it will be similar. Notice right now the blades and leaves point up. So if we switch this way, they will point side more horizontal towards us or again. So same, alternate, and we have it pairs. So it's kind of similar what we had before. Okay, let's go back to this view. Next, we also have it start. So we can have it from start segment, surface segment, top of the segment, palm or flower, and in only influence, no children. And you see it's not straight. Where is those supposed to going? They kind of give influence, this little bit deformation on our trunk, so it's kind of affecting. Okay, let's go to X of segment. And we also have options to move out or bring in a little bit related to our axis. Okay, next we go with the blending. And notice right here, use it subdivision surface. So this is kind of this area, mostly when we start connecting. You can see the resolution is decreasing or will add it. For the best, better effect, you want to enable subdivision. So next, it will be upper width. So right there, and we can modify how much of this upper width you want to integrate. You can see right here, we have a little bit, maybe too much. So let's take it slightly down, so it does not break. Lower width as well. And a child right there. Okay, next we have a child width, and this you can see right in area, it's kind of visible. And especially set different coloring on the texture, so we can see where's the child and parent going, so you can see how this width is affecting. We also can have it move away. In this case, it's affecting more with these connections, so give it us. And as well, we have the ability to blend. If we have it not just all the colors, different materials, we can enable better blending within the materials. As well, if we have it normals, we can enable the blend normals as well. It's mostly on these transitions between the parent and the child. So the next we'll have it influence on the segment, and you can see this is how the child or a segment, the child primitive instance and affecting the segment axis. So we have right here, you can see some bending. So we can also going way more on a bending. And in this case, each child affecting bending of the parent. So we can go back to these. Let's go back to normal. Okay. Next. Okay, we also have it optional bending. So let me just reset bending here. Okay, sorry, it's shrink was the bending, this original one, bending. So this is also the shrink or expanding of the radius, and you can see mostly when we go to the top. So we can have it less influence, it's become solid. We'll take a shrink radius all the way up, and it's become much smaller. We already played a little bit with the bending. And as well, if we need to add a little bit more smoothness, so we're gonna go add smoothness and add some of the bending effect. Okay, so right here, kind of set a little bit with bending. Next, we have an orientation, and this is orientation apply for our children. So we can have an angle, can go up or down, like maybe for the Christmas tree or pine tree. Okay, apply it. Rotation, and even we can specify other ones like we did it with type of arrangement. This is a little bit beside the physical appliance, so we can rotate those leaves. Okay, we have an appearance of the ruling, and rule it will help us kind of, you can see apply to the sides. Okay, go on a trunk, ruling on a trunk right there, so you can preview. Okay, coil, it will go around. And the coil is actually one of the nicer placement. You almost always want to use it, because otherwise they will place it without coil. So we go 0 here. Let me just show you. So example right there, you can see the symmetrical, put it on one side. So we want to use it coil. And depend, I find between maybe 80, 85. And we also want to use it the randomness for this as well. But this way we'll have a little bit more random position for the branches, so they don't just go in one simple flat dimensions here. And of course the one options, it's checked avoid mesh. This way, if we have some object on this, it will avoid the children place it on their object area. So horizontalism, it is a behavior that is aimed to simulate tendency of the plants position themselves horizontally. So right here we can open, and you can see on the leaves how they start going a little bit more angle horizontal. You can apply some of this effect on rotation and rule. It's not as dramatic as the orientation before, but it is give it more natural type of the positioning. So it's more to simulate the plans of natural days. The whirl option, it's define multiple insects growing from the one connection point. So in the typical, in some area like conifers or other ones, they're growing from same height of the bark and going from same place. So right here by enabling, we can enable them growing. And you know what, let me do disable little bit on a blade so we can see a little bit better this way. And you can see we can define how many per hour we're going. Okay. Next, we also can define what angle they will going. For example, right here you can see they kind of growing from same connection. Okay, we can put it 3 of them at one, and they're going. Or we can increase connection spread on them as well. Okay, now we can use it also the spread. It's using random number, using integer power. It's different type or random distribution. So you can see right here we have 4, 3. So it's different ways. And also we have ability to randomize some of this. Okay, let me go 360 for example. You can see it's a spread them on the same level by 360. Okay, we have it random. We can have it non-illustrated, so they all get symmetrical. And let's put this one to 0. So right here we have it 3 symmetrical on the same level growing. In this case, if we're going to create like a pine tree or coffin, the probably best way to use it with whirl is enable, so it's creating more realistic kind of positioning of the branches. The next option, it is going with inherited properties. It is related how child nodes inherited those properties from your parent, currently this node. So the density, it's managed the numbers of connections of offspring, and currently it is graph based. So we can go ahead, adjust this. And again, it will pass through the child. Next, we have also scale. It's a scale of upstream, which is going up and down. And the shapes is maintained only by the size changes. And sap, it is simulating the plant grow. It's managed the length of the offspring and the density as well.